Welcome to Creatively Exposed, a podcast and safe space for Black and marginalized creatives to empower, educate, and uplift you through the final product of self and creation. Bring a homie, share with a homie, and enjoy the show.
Welcome back to Creatively Exposed, and it is another late night episode. I should have edited some things, but at least next Monday for sure I have an interview coming up, a pretty cool interview. And I'm thinking along the lines of self-care and nurturing and refilling your cup. There's a new moon Monday today, and it's in Cancer, and Cancer is kind of like home, nurturing, the feel-good stuff, comfort food, and feelings. And so I've realized that I have been tired, like so deep. And I'm like, man, what's going on with this? Like, things ain't really that hard right now. And it's like, oh, but yes, you have been doing the most. And I think that sometimes accomplishing takes over the joy of creation. And what that does is, for me, my inner child is like sitting, kind of like sitting in the corner of the wall, like when you're on timeout, and watching me just work. And what happens with that is when I'm not playing enough, as in creating just to create, binging, listening to music, whatever it is, eating well, I don't feel as inspired, incited to do more, I have legit been working, and I've been working on all of the creative things, and I still have more to do. Like, I got stuff to do, y'all. And sometimes we need to celebrate all the wins. My talks-based therapist I told her of something, and I was like, oh, I was featured for Writer of the Month at Drunk Monkey, an online literary magazine. And so, sometimes as a Black and brown person, marginalized person, Black woman, I'm like, this is great. So cool. This is bomb. I'm excited. I'm proud. But what else is next? And she asked, how are you celebrating? And I'm like, that's wild. Like, I didn't even think about that. It's like, I was like, oh, I'm going to just chill because I've done a couple of things. But no moment did I say, this, stop and celebrate it. And what's really funny is that on my main Instagram, I have a lot, y'all. I said, celebrate your wins no matter the size. And what I didn't realize is, like, look in the mirror. That woman in the mirror. Hey, hi. Yeah, you need to do this. And I was wondering and worrying, and I'm like, I have this thing to do. And I have this thing to do. And I have this thing to do. And it's like, stop. Maybe you can't take a whole day, but you can have an evening, have a few hours just to say you've done great. You did that. Have a celebratory, I don't know. I like chocolate or cookie, or my favorite thing y'all should know by now. If you don't, it's K-drama binging. Put on some music, dance, play, You've done great work. But have you played recently? Have you poured into yourself? Because there is a detriment to working so hard. And what it leads to is that writer's block, that creative block, is sometimes the need to force things to have a specific result instead of just creating to create. And what's cool is I had a conversation with my cousin, and we were talking about how, sometimes being paid for our art, yeah, it's dope to be paid for your art, but sometimes it creates these expectations, and expectations, be it our own or someone else's, stifles sometimes. I was creating something for someone, and I needed it to be this big thing. And, I asked for help. One, that's something I'll always recommend. Reach out to your network, and even if they don't know, they might point you to the right place. Because again, it takes a village. Said that in the last episode. It takes a village. Creativity may feel lonely. Doing creative things feel lonely, but you always need at least one trusted person that you could say, hey, check this out. What do you think about this? And it's not to deny yourself of being confident in your work, but we can always do better. Nothing has to be perfect, but it can be better. And so don't forget to self-care, y'all. It is key. Do the work, but after you do the work, play or work out or whatever it is that works for you. So something that has been on my mind because I enjoyed it so much. I'm sure that many people have heard by now, but Mfkin Mercado. I kept wanting to say it, and I don't really cuss on the show, which I cuss like a sailor in real life. But I have to put some respect on Mfkin motherfucking Mercado's name, and so it just didn't feel right to not say it this way. But that will probably be all the curse words, y'all. Who knows? I'll also never forgive myself for not going to that exhibition that he had in 2019. Last year. Yeah, man. I regret that so deeply, so deeply. I guess that's what happens when you believe you have more time to experience somebody. Don't wait to experience anyone that you enjoy, be it a star, a person, somebody you love. The Mucho Amor movie, documentary of Mfkin Mercado. Who is Mfkin Mercado? Let's talk about it. The most famous astrologer in the world. He is from where my family is from, so in Ponce, Puerto Rico. And I feel like I need a and it's just, if anyone has no idea about astrology or, tarot reading or whatever this new age bruja thing is about, understand that this wave is most likely inspired by Mfkin Mercado. And if you're really into astrology and the quote unquote occult or, terrorist, whatever. If you're into these things, highly, highly recommend. Get your life, okay? Get your whole entire life. That's just something I wanted to put out there, because it's a vibe, and it's also a learning experience, because there are parts in there that teach people about business practices. So that was my form of self-care. I actually had to do some caretaking, so I put it for my grandma so she can watch it, and I wasn't able to until like earlier this week, and I got my whole entire life, like the capes, all of the capes, the extravagance, like it's legit. They captured the feelings that I have for 𝘬𝘬𝘬𝘵 Mercado. Like, there are celebrities, and I'm like, oh, I love whomever. My top celebrities are basically Beyonce and 𝘬𝘬𝘬𝘵 Mercado and Celia Cruz. Anyone else? That's who I can think of, like, top 3, right? Eso no era ponceña. But, like, top is legit Beyonce and 𝘬𝘬𝘬𝘵 Mercado. But Celia Cruz was before Beyonce. Just random. It's late, y'all, so the randomness will ensue. And I get a lot from the experiencing of someone that extravagant, that non-binary, and just being themselves fully. And that is art, I think that there's a way about creating that sometimes we hold back, be it from sharing, from writing that one thing, painting that one thing. And what is on the other side of that fear? Sometimes it's a breakthrough. And so I say be gentle with yourselves this week, because it's gonna be a tender week, I would say. But it's a magical week, because you can plant seeds for the month that's coming if we're open. I think I've been experiencing today where we limit ourselves because things should be. But how do they feel? Does it feel right? Does it feel off? Do you listen to that? Like this week, I felt off. And most of the days I didn't listen until I was like, wait a minute. I'm not even like working on the things that I want to work on. I feel stressed. I'm doing too much. But it's because I am not refilling my cup. And so do that, man. I mean, man, woman, everyone, folks. Be mindful with yourselves. Be mindful with yourself. And as usual, I'm also talking to me. Because when I'm charging forward to the point that I'm in like tunnel vision, I miss the view of the journey. Whew, when I listen to this. So yeah. That's really what's been on my spirit, on my mind. I